going on, everybody? My name is Justian Hamilton. I'm doing this Can I Be Vulnerable video. Hopefully we'll get into some things, tell you a little bit about myself. Ex-college athlete, played a few years college ball, transitioning into a new career field, real estate. So that'll be my upcoming challenges. Aside from that, father of two. Was baptized earlier this year, so that's a newfound journey as well. And for me, I'm making this Can I Be Vulnerable video as I believe everybody has a story, and the more that we open and share, we build common grounds, and hopefully it'll impact people in areas that they may be struggling with in their life. My spiritual healing has impacted my relationship with others. I want to say in addressing all the issues. So maybe issues that I've ran from, whether that's be it the terms of walking out, anger, let's say substance abuse, whatever it is, it allows me to head on, take those challenges, those issues that I may have had with individuals instead of running from them. Right. Spiritual healing has changed me, I would say, changing my perception and being more bold, I guess giving me a power that I didn't believe I had in me. So with spiritual healing, let's say the conversation needed to be had with my mother, and rather than bringing it up, I would avoid it because of the reaction I would probably know I was going to get. Mm-hmm. So spiritual healing, it put me at a place of peace, of understanding, and I guess it allowed me to have those conversations, have those things that need to be said in the moment, regardless of the outcome. So for sure, it gave me a lot of courage. My relationship with God is my most important thing. I believe that's first. And then really having that relationship with God as far as like, not just a spiritual, treating it as like a spiritual entity, but more like treating it like a physical relationship. So obviously if I have my mom or a girlfriend, I'm going to respect them. I'm going to think twice certain moments. With God, exactly. I want that to be the most important relationship, because if I can be a better friend or a better son to God, then it's going to carry over into other relationships. Here's one of my fears. One of my fears would be accepting and living in dysfunction. That would be one of my fears. So used to it growing up that I've accepted it in past relationships, thinking that it was normal, and I'm coming to grips at age 34 of all the damages that dysfunction can, have a part on you. I would say my weakness is confidence, believing in myself. Okay. I feel like through spiritual connection, I'm kind of able to get there, fulfill that gap. But I would say definitely confidence. Healing is life. Growth is necessary. I want to say one of the things that I'm vulnerable about that I've recognized over the last few years have been definitely in a relationship with my dad. So he obviously it was never a part of my life. When I was born, he didn't believe that I was his. I didn't really understand the impact. My mom would always say, do you want to meet your dad? Do you want to go talk to him? I can reach out to him. Like he's, I know where he's at. You can talk to him. She always encouraged it to bridge that gap, to have a relationship. And then for me, I would always be, I'm cool. All right. So I kind of put it to the back, And then it wasn't, I guess, until time when this past year I went to New York for the first time as an adult. I reached out to him, told him I was going to go on a trip. I would love to meet him. He, was like, agreed, told him the dates, everything was set up. I actually had 2 stints in New York to give him a chance to reach. So I get out there, I text him, hey, I'm here. Would love to have lunch with you in the next couple of days. He tells me he's on vacation. All of a sudden now he's out of town. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Well, I understand. I was like, well, I'll be gone out the country for a couple of weeks. Then I'll be back. Maybe I can link with you, when I get back. No response. So once I got that response, also I forgot to mention in the first conversation, one of the final things that he was saying was he still has the idea that you can understand that you might not be mine, that there's a good chance that, so I'm not gonna go into details on the story, but I'm his. So it kind of left the wrong taste in my mouth. And then after this last trip, I did open up. I talked with one of my dear friends about it. He was like, if it bothers you, say it to him. Because for me, it's like I got stuck. I was like, should I send him this long message or call him? And I still haven't to this day. This was back in June, and I still haven't texted him. I still haven't even said anything about it. I just let it go. And then for me, I feel like it's a trouble area because I just don't know, I guess, what I'm willing to say or where it would go. So just having that conversation with him, I guess I'm still scared to be vulnerable to him, because not only is he a man, but he's a stranger. You know, man, we're not really raised to be vulnerable to other strangers or other men at that.
Yeah.
So with this situation, it's kind of I didn't think I was this weak, to say the least, because all these years I was like, you know, whatever, I'll talk to him, I'll see him, it doesn't bother me, But now I'm understanding about myself, like, damn, I was selfish all these years because I get it from him.
Yeah.
And I'm just learning all these things from his traits, of even not having conversations with him, I'm learning about it. So that for one is
DNA is hard to deny. Like,
well, yeah.
I may not have been raised with him, but we have similar characteristics and attributes. Wild how that shit works.
And then for me, it's like I still have no ill feelings towards him. Like, you know, obviously being more into my religion this year than any other year has taught me to be more understanding, forgiving. Christ obviously forgave me for my sins and past sins that I repented when I got baptized. So for me to rob somebody else of that experience, I wouldn't dare.
It's not for you to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare. I would want them to feel what I felt, because I felt 10 times better moving on past then. So for me, it's just having that conversation with him. And then also with my mother. I know growing up, obviously, Belizean, you know, you pack 9 people in a house, it's crabs in a barrel, you know, dysfunction everywhere. 7 women, 3 boys. You can imagine all the yelling, being poor, lights off, all that stuff. So for me, just growing up in dysfunction, what I'm learning at this age of 34 was that even with dating, I ran from a lot of good women that I felt like were trying to lead me to a place that I didn't want to be, because I felt like dysfunction was it. I'm like, man, this girl's not crazy enough, or this friend is not like edgy enough or whatever. And not to come to find out, like, till this age, is like a lot of that stuff I chose was over what I knew, which was dysfunction. Having a woman yell at you, you get used to it, you get conditioned to that.
Yeah, like that's normal to you. That's all you know.
It's normal, and you're not really taught to, like, again, as a man, to express yourself. We say women are emotional. I kind of learned that at this age, that it's actually the reverse. Women are emotional, but they're direct. They speak on it usually in the moment. They act out. They wear their emotion on their sleeve. They get it out there. You know, it's very hard for a woman to be like, okay, sit still, and that's that. They're gonna let it out. With men, we're emotional, but we don't handle it right. So we run, we shut down situations, we defend ourselves, we guard ourselves, and then we just move on. We isolate, we trick ourselves to thinking everything's okay. Then when we do give ourselves time to really think, heal, and understand it, that's usually when we come to a place of reason and try to fix a relationship. So for me, being told that you don't have an opinion, you can't ask for what you want, you can't get all these, you know, being all tied in together, I had to keep everything in. As an only child, I was isolated for a lot. So for me, it's just like I'm sitting in a box. You know, we poor, so we ain't got no TV. So for me, it's just me in my mind and just thinking of everything through. So for me, not being able to talk to my mother about a lot of the issues that I had, my upbringing, that's still a conversation that I run from, is because I don't know how. I still care about her feelings. So I know if I say certain things, she's a very emotional woman, I know she could take it the wrong way. So for me, it's like I kind of, I guess, rob that situation of developing, because I make the decision to not have it, to save the outcome that may or may not happen, versus having the conversation. All right. So yeah, I mean, you witnessed here my Can I Be Vulnerable story. So the biggest thing that I can share, or I would hope that you guys would take away from this video, is that just treat yourself with I would say with 110% mindset. I know a lot of times we take care of our physical, what we eat, how we work out, what we look like, our money situation, make sure our finances are straight, but also give awareness to your mental health. You deserve to be at your maximum performance or your maximum potential. And if you're not there spiritually, in my opinion, physically, mentally, then you're only a fraction of yourself. And with that said, you're robbing yourself and you're robbing others of your true self. So I believe everybody deserves to be at 100%. And even if you feel like there's nothing wrong, have the conversation. Sit down with a friend, sit down with a therapist, sit down with anybody, talk about things that you witnessed growing up, where you're at now, where you plan to be. Not only that, is that I believe each of us have a story that can share. A lot of times we may be used as a tool, but if you can share your story, you can serve as a great purpose to potentially save someone going through a troubling time, or not only that, save yourself. But I believe the more we put our truth out there, the better that we all will be.